Alright guys, it's part 7. No end is in sight. Let's get right going through these questions. Next question comes to us from All Back. All Back. He says, on the spot, what NECA figures are you looking forward to getting in the future, and which ones will be seeing soon? Best holiday greetings from Croatia. My wife actually is Croatian as well, so from one, I guess I'm Croatian by marriage now. So I say good day to you, fellow Croatian. Happy holidays to you as well. And he, with regards to his question, what NECA figures are you looking forward to getting in the future? The ones I'm really looking forward to getting to right now, I have a little hair on my finger there. One figure is that I'm really looking forward to is the new Nightmare on Elm Street remake. NECA's doing, as far as I know, a 2-pack that features both a Fred Krueger as well as Freddy Krueger, respectively. 2-pack. I think I'm really looking forward to getting that set above all else. Other figures I would like to get are the, at least from the NECA end of things, is the Halloween H2 figures, which I believe is NECA as well. A couple of people have asked when I was going to do, actually several people have asked when I was going to do Halloween H2 figures. I haven't actually picked those figures up as of yet. When I do get them, I will be doing reviews of them. So I would say of the NECA figures, those probably are the ones I'm looking forward to getting the most, is those figures there. Oh, and again, happy holidays to you as well, my friend. Next question is from Dismantle123. He says, on the spot, why do we have a tough time finding new toys in Canada, especially the Walmart exclusives? Sometimes Zellers carries the Target exclusives. Any idea why the Iron Man movie toy 6 inches are the same price as 3 3/4 inch toys? Well, I guess, you know what, I think he's kind of put two questions together. I'll read the first one first. He wanted to know why Canada has such a tough time getting exclusives. The question, I honestly don't know the question for. I don't know the answer for that, my friend. I actually have called Walmart in the past, and I spoke to their Canada distribution center, and I spoke to somebody that was in charge of distribution. Apparently it's a mixed, I got a mixed answer, because I called them and they said that they would only put out in stores what they're permitted to put out by the toy company. In other words, Walmart would only put out DC Universe figures if the toy company themselves offered, or I guess allowed them to put the toy out. I don't know if that's necessarily correct, because I would think they probably be very inclined to get their toys out as many places as possible. I think at the end of all of it, the girl probably just didn't know what she was talking about. Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, I don't know why we don't get exclusive. As you know, I've been very vocal about this. I'm very annoyed, I guess, the fact that like we never got the DC Universe Wave 5 figures that were Walmart exclusives. But no, apparently Walmart US exclusives, and we weren't able to get those. We also weren't able to get the current ones are Target exclusive, but I've even looked in Zellers, and I don't seem to see Universe exclusives there either. So, I mean, if anyone in Canada has seen any Target exclusive figures at Zellers, please let me know, because as far as I know, I have not seen any of those figures. And while Canada is now catching up, and I think we're getting figures now that the States get at the same time, as recent as a year or so ago, Canada would always be like several months behind. So for example, if trying to use a good example here, even Spectacular Spider-Man figures, like that Green Goblin, the States I think got, it was like 3 or 4 months before we did, and same thing with the Transformers animated. Just to kind of put in perspective what I'm talking about here. Right now at Walmart, we just got Long Arm. For those who watched animated, the Long Arm toy, was the Voyager class Long Arm that turns also into Shockwave, and we also got the Skywarp repaint. Now, I'm sure anyone in the States can tell me how long ago they got those figures. We still haven't gotten the Wreck-Gar. I'm trying to think what other figures we didn't get yet. I know we just got like the Samurai Prowl and stuff like that. So yeah, we do tend to be a little behind on figures. Even the Marvel Universe 3.5-inch scale, 3/4-inch scale. We've just now got the Red Hulk wave out. And so I don't know why Canada seems so slow. I know I've heard it's distribution periods. It takes time for them to import over. But I don't know, because I mean there's like Mattel Canada, and there's like Hasbro Canada. I don't know why they just don't. I don't know. I'm sure anybody who works at these companies could probably tell you a little bit better than I could. But his other question was, any idea why the Iron Man movie toys 6-inch are the same price as the 3 3/4-inch toys? Meaning, why aren't the 3 3/4-inch toys cheaper? They are cheaper way compared to the Legends to build Marvel Universe, but not worth that much money. That is another question that I unfortunately don't have an answer for. And if you ask me, I know the price of, certainly the price of oil, the price of plastic has gone up. However, this is where my problem lies. When I was younger, you could buy a G.I. Joe 3 1/4-inch toy, and it was $3.49. I remember that actually very well because I could get allowance and I could go out and buy a toy. I mean, certainly those prices have gone up. To get a G.I. Joe now of that size is also, of that same size, is about $10 now. That's fine, and I don't mind the cost of inflation. Where I'm confused though is why they have DC, Marvel Legends figures and DC Universe figures that are about $10. They're maybe a little more than $10 for like the 6-inch to 7-inch scale figures. However, you can look a little further down on the pegs, and at least in Canada, the 3 1/4-inch DC Universe Infinite Heroes or Infinite Universe and the Marvel Universe figures of that scale are the same price. So I can't figure out why. Like I've been in stores and I've seen like the Hobgoblin 3 1/4-inch. I've seen like the Moon Knight and stuff like that, and they're the same price as larger size figures. So I mean, really, I don't know how you can justify it. Like inflation or not, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense how you can have two scale size figures, two different scales next to one another. They're about the same price point, and yet the smaller size they can justify for about the same price. I don't know. I just don't know. Dismantle 123 also asks, on the spot, will you see any Transformer toy reviews on the guest spot? I'd like to see more movie figures reviewed. As you know, on the spot, guest spots, getting all my spots confused here. Guest spots, what I originally had planned was that guest spots would be where I could have different reviewers on and they could do guest spots on the channel. What I ended up getting though, there's a friend of mine that actually does some reviews on the channel as guest spots. But he's one of the only few that are doing guest spots right now. So I know he does the majority of my Transformer reviews because he's a lot better doing them than I am. But I mean, maybe looking ahead, I mean, it's an invite to anybody out there. If anybody would like to do a guest spot on my channel, I mean, feel free, just let me know, and let me know what video you want to do, and we'll certainly work something out. But yeah, the original idea was to have guest spots as different people coming on and doing different reviews of toys. Whether it will pan out, I don't know. But there will be more Transformer reviews coming. Movie figure reviews, I don't know necessarily about that. There are some movie figures that I've picked up that I might try to... I don't know if it's going to work, but I might try to do them myself. So, if I do, well, we'll see how that goes. Next question comes to us from Guate Power. I think if that's right. Guate Power. And he says, on the spot, I've been collecting Marvel Legends and Spider-Man figures for almost a year now, yet I have not found a Spider-Man that impresses me, at least not one in stores. Which is the best Spider-Man figure on the range of 6 inches? I have a movie figure and first appearance Marvel Legends Spider-Man, but I do not like how they look with the rest of my display. Please let me know which figure you think is more comic book accurate. Thank you. Well, answer your question, Great Power. There's 2 figures that I can tell you right off the bat are, if you ask me at least, and I don't know if maybe the other Marvel Legends reviewers out there will agree with me or not, but if you ask this humbled reviewer, the 2 Spider-Man figures that you should be looking for, one of them is the Hasbro 2008's figure of Spider-Man. The easiest way you can find him is he came with a street light. He came with a street light. It's still one figure that I've yet to pick up, and actually really harking back to, I think JRA Nightmare asked this, what figure would I like to get? I'd still like to get the street light or street lamp Spider-Man. But he is definitely one that you'd want to look for if you want a comic accurate Spider-Man. But the one I think that is the Spider-Man that you would want to look for is from the Spider-Man Classics line. And I don't know if the actual name of it, I don't remember the name just off the top of my head. But it was in a white package, and it was, they've dubbed it really the McFarlane style Spider-Man because it's got the larger eyes. I want to say it's Spider-Man Classics Wave 6, but I don't think that's right. It's like 5 or 6. And like I said, it's on a white card. It's the red and blue costume Spider-Man. If you can find that, and I don't really think he's that much on eBay. He's probably only about $10 to $15. But if you can find him, that's the Spider-Man you want to be getting. And actually, surprisingly enough, while I say all this, I've yet to pick up the figure myself. So maybe that's another figure on my wish list. But when I do eventually pick him up, and if I find him, I'll review him for you. But those are the 2 figures that you want to be looking for. The only thing is, though, the Streetlight Spider-Man, the Street Lamp Spider-Man, whatever accessory he comes with, is a little darker in color from the pictures I've seen of him. If you want a more vibrant colored Spider-Man, I think still the figure you want to be looking for is the Spider-Man Classics Spider-Man. And again, the easiest way that you can find him is, I believe he also comes with a web base. It's a circular web base, and it's got just the webbing on it. And he comes with in a white card, like it's a white bubble clamshell. And I think the comic is white. And it's to me, it's like the Spider-Man to get. And it's got if you ask me, the better McFarlane larger eye mask on the figure. So I think that's the better one to go with. So hopefully that answered your question all right. The next question keeps going, doesn't it? Next question comes to us from Jokerface. He says, on the spot, do you own a Marvel Legends Series 6 Deadpool? Will you review him? I do, in fact, have a Series 6 Deadpool. I will review him, and certainly I know at the time I review him, I'm going to have people outrage the fact that I'm going to open the package up. But he is definitely on the way. He is definitely on the way. His next question is, can you make a top 10 figure list? Well, I do have, like I said, the Hall of Fame. You can check it on my homepage. It'll say all the figures in my, not necessarily a top 10, but a Hall of Fame. I will try to do a top 10 figure list as well, but ultimately the figure top 10 will just be the same as the Hall of Fame. So hopefully that answers your question. And I've got a phone call coming in, and I'll just mute the phone for the time being. It's not for me anyways, it's for the wife, so I don't have to answer it. He says, next question is, what do you think is more rare and a better figure? DC Superheroes Batman, the gray and black, or Marvel Legends Series 6 Deadpool? I would probably say right off the bat, the easiest answer so far in this on the spot is this one right here. By far, probably the rarest is the Deadpool. If you had asked me this probably last year or before the Wolverine movie came out, I probably would have said maybe the maybe the Batman is a little more rare. Unfortunately, the downside with any collection when it comes to figures is figures. There's the you're collecting, the price figures tend to fluctuate. But then if something big happens, like if a character is in a movie, a lot of people go back and try to pick up that figure. And I think that's a very good case with Deadpool here. Deadpool was popular, but certainly not as popular as he is now. When this figure came out, I think the figure sold well, but now I think a lot of people are going back and wanting to get that Deadpool figure. And to see him on eBay is mind-blowing, actually, how expensive some of these are. I mean, I've seen Deadpool, and I don't know what the current price for Deadpool is now, but I know when I've looked for him before, and when I've checked on eBay for him before, he ranged from as little as $60 all the way up to about $180. Yeah, so I mean that's quite expensive. So I would say in this case it would definitely be Deadpool as the rare figure. Granted, there might be more Deadpools out there, but with people trying to pick them up and collectors hoarding them and then selling them, I think price-wise he's the more rare figure. Next question: who do you think would win in a fight between Batman or Captain America? I think Batman is the smarter hero. I think Batman, providing it wasn't a close contact fight, I think Batman would probably have the upper hand because Batman would be using stealth. I think Captain America more is the kind of the barging in, not guns a-blazing, but he would be like the right on ya kind of guy. He'd be throwing his shield and he'd be going for the close attacks kind of thing. Whereas I think Batman would silently kind of take his time. He'd figure out how he's going to attack you kind of thing. And for long range attacks, I think Batman would win too. He's got an array of weapons. He could probably disable Captain America from a distance. I think where Captain America has the advantage though is if he was to catch Batman off guard with his shield, or if he got Batman close enough. If he got Batman close enough, certainly Captain America I think would probably have the advantage just because of the super serum and he's stronger and stuff like that. So I probably would say if it was a long battle, I think Batman would win. But if it was a close battle, like hand to hand, I think Captain America might have the advantage. But I'm gonna have to go Batman on this one, guys. Next one: Justice League or Avengers? Who would win? Well, if you ask this guy, I would go the Justice League. I think ability-wise, they're probably a stronger team. I think the Avengers probably would work as a stronger unit, though. As a team collectively, I think the Avengers would probably have the advantage. But I think power-wise, I would probably go Justice League. And he says, can you review Solomon Grundy from the DC Universe? You always compare sizes with him. Solomon Grundy is on the way, along with the rest of the DC Universe figures. I haven't actually forgotten about the DC Universe. I am still going to go through the other waves. I got sidetracked with other reviews, but definitely, guys, those are on the way. The DC Universe will still be reviewed. And finally, he says, who would win, Deadpool or Deathstroke? That's a good one too. Deathstroke has an array of weapons. Deadpool, though, I don't know. I would have to say Deadpool on this one. Deadpool. Yeah, have to go Deadpool. So I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. Another video wrapped up. Part 7 is now finished. Very long videos I'm noticing as well, so I do apologize. But on the spot, Part 7 is now wrapped up. Stay tuned for Part 8, guys. Part 8.